Hello ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at Artisans in Diablo 3, but more specifically we're going to be taking a look at the Blacksmith. Now Artisans are essentially Diablo 3's version of crafters and vendors. How this is going to work is you're not going to actually start the game with access to the Artisans. Now, the three Artisans are the Blacksmith, the Jeweler, and the Mystic. Again, we're specifically looking at the Blacksmith, but basically what's going to happen is you're going to encounter them throughout the world, and they're going to ask you to do favors for them. And then once you've completed this favor, you will gain access to their services. Now, what are these services, you may ask? Well, crafting is going to be the essential focus of the Artisans. They're going to be making items for you. The biggest thing to really think about is that in Diablo 3, they wanted to really make sure that you yourself didn't have to be sitting around doing crafting, slaving over the forge, or whatever you will. They want the main focus, obviously, in this game for you to be out there amongst the world. So what's going to happen is these Artisans are going to do the crafting for you. All you have to do is provide them with the material. Now, as you can see here, the Blacksmith does sell wares just like any typical vendor would in any sort of RPG. But besides that, they do things much as crafting like we talked about. They can also, of course, repair your items. So this, for the Blacksmith specifically, you're going to be able to go to repair any damaged items that you have. Socketing is going to be one of the specializations of the Blacksmith. What's going to happen with that is he can actually socket specific items for you, which otherwise don't have sockets. All Artisans have the ability to be trained and essentially level up, and that leveling up gives you access to more things through that Artisan. And then also there's just a general talk function, which of course is going to be used to find out some gossip or what's going on around the world of Sanctuary. Now we're going to take a quick look at what specifically this Artisan can craft. Now the Blacksmith himself is going to be focusing mainly on weapons and armor. That's what you're going to get from the Blacksmith in terms of crafting. Now what are these items specifically intended to do? Well, crafted items are just meant to be some sort of a replacement or an alternative for gear for your character. So this isn't going to be necessarily all the gear that you're ever going to wear. A lot of the gear is going to be acquired throughout the game, but a good portion of it could very well come through crafting. Now, in being Diablo, as you can see here, there are random properties attached to these, as well as some set. But randomness is definitely a big aspect to it, so you don't always know what you're going to get, and in fact, you may get items that you won't necessarily need. But this is also going to harken back to our trading system, which will hopefully allow us to get rid of these items and maybe even make a profit off of them. Now, as mentioned prior, one of the specialties of the Blacksmith is going to be socketing. And socketing is going to work, well, exactly as how you expect it to work. You're just going to be able to grab some items of yours, place it within this little window here, and then you'll add a socket to it. Now this is going to require some gold. It's not going to be free of charge, but it's pretty exciting because you can actually do this to any item. It doesn't matter what its rarity is. It could be one of the most rare legendary items. You could still add sockets to it if it otherwise didn't have them. Now the biggest driving force behind the crafting system is actually known as salvaging, and salvaging is the means behind breaking down gear that you find throughout the world and then using the items that broken down gear gives you to be able to craft. So you give these items to the Artisan. So as you can see here, we're just clicking some gear and then salvaging the items, and then we're given bits and pieces. You can see common scraps, subtle essence. These are the kind of things you can expect, and these are again going to be used to craft items at the Artisan. As mentioned earlier, you are actually capable of upgrading your Artisan. It's just going to require some materials and gold. The main reason behind gold being meant for this is so that there's some sort of a time sink or an investment to it. It takes time to acquire gold, and then that gold is going to be used to upgrade your Artisan. Now you can see there's a really nice visual cue here. Every time you upgrade, what's around him is going to get more and more visually pleasing. And as you can see, this is actually a fully upgraded Blacksmith right here with all the bells and whistles that you would expect. But something to note about upgrading is that upgrading actually allows you to do better things with the Artisan, to have crafted better recipes. And now that our monk is fully decked out with crafted gear from the Blacksmith, he is free to go about freely and kick some serious ass. So as always guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and as always, keep watching and keep owning.